Welcome. Okay, let's see. Why? Okay. Oh, are you the one watching? Sad. Girl. Okay. Give me one moment. Guess I'll give you guys some time. Give you guys some time to come on in here. Welcome. Let's see. Oops. Sorry if the screen keeps moving. That's me. Let's see. Let's see. Can you guys type in the chat? I just want to make sure the chat is working. I wanted to talk to you guys about a few flight attendant terms, and I have my notes here so that we can go over a few terms. Let's see. Yeah, if you're in here and you're live, say hi so I know that this is working. Okay, anyways, I will go over a few flight attendant terms with you guys just to review a couple of things. So first, we have reserve, because some of you guys want to ask. So these are all things that you guys have asked me either in the comments or messaged me about. So reserve is, hey, what's up? Okay, let me read these terms and then I'll come back to the comments. So reserve is when you're on call. You will be on call from either AM shift or PM shift, and that depends on where you are, where's your domicile. So in my domicile at DFW, it's AM is 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then PM reserve is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and they can call you at any time during that time period of your shift. When you're on reserve, whenever you're making your schedule, you can only have, during a 31-day calendar month or 30 days, you can only have 1 day in between, 1 day minimum in between 2 reserve blocks, if that makes sense. So 1 day off. You don't do that one time 1 month. The rest of the times has to be either 2 or 3 days in between. Hey, how are you? Okay, so what else? Oh, also, when you're on reserve, you will always, the minimum amount of days that you will be on reserve will be 3 days. So that's the minimum, and the maximum would be 6 days in a row. Then we have ready reserve. Ready reserve is when you have to actually sit at the airport in uniform and be ready to report to work if crew support were to call you. So normally when I am on ready reserve, it's from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and I have to sit at the airport, during that whole time, I have to be checked in through TSA by 7 a.m. and then I have to self-notify, and then I just sit in the airport and wait for crew support to call me. Now you can put yourself on what is the term? Early release. So we have two options whenever we are on call, which is early release and do not call first. So you can put yourself on both of those, but that's not guaranteed that you won't be called. But I always put myself on do not call first. That's permanent. And then what is the second thing? Early release. I only put myself on early release if I'm sitting ready reserve, because who wants to sit at the airport all day? But if you are sitting at the airport all day, definitely make yourself useful. Read a book, talk on the phone, I don't know, make your calendar schedule, just keep yourself busy so the time can go by fast. Do your CBTs. Also with CBTs, that's going to be our online training that we have to do every quarter. So with those, make sure you're not zooming through your CBTs, because we actually get paid for doing those. And we get paid by how much time that we're spending doing the CBTs. If you look at when you're doing the CBTs and it says like the time spent, normally mine says 0 minutes and like 45 seconds because I'm zooming through it. However, that's what they're paying you. So be sure to take your time so you can get paid for an hour of doing CBTs versus zooming through it like I've been doing and getting paid for like 5 minutes of my time. So that's another way to get paid. Let's see. Okay, a stand-up is going to be, this is like a type of trip where you're going to work a late night shift. It can start from as late as, or as early, I would say, as early as 8:30 p.m., 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, and then you will get to the hotel of a different location. Like for instance, I just had one that was to Louisiana. We went to Louisiana, and then we had the first flight of the day out. So I had to report to work at, I report to the airport at like 5 o'clock, and then the plane leaves at 5:30. So I was up pretty early. Let me see. Let me take a look at your questions. How many hours do you typically work per week? Flying, 20 hours a week. And then per diem, which is like sitting in the hotel room or having an overnight, that's gonna be about, that can really range from like 60 hours a week. So yeah, but 20 hours flying, and that we get paid from the time the door closes. And let's say we have a mechanical issue or we're holding the plane because the gate hasn't opened yet, that also counts as time. And sometimes out of a 4-day trip, all that time that I'm waiting with landing at the airport and just waiting until we get to the door, that can add another 2 hours total for my whole work week. So yeah, 22 hours a week probably. But that's like a heavy week of flying. Are you guys at your airline able to fly on any airline for free? Yes. Majority of the airlines, there are a few that we don't have access to, but the main carriers, yes, we do. And oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Followed you on IG, love your videos, keep it up. Yay. I see you in the skies. I need a double shot, of course. Yeah, I am not stingy with giving people drinks. because I don't even know why there's other flight attendants who are just like hoarding the drinks. That does not come out of our check. So I'd be like, whatever y'all want, I don't care. But yeah, I'm not really that active on Instagram, and I kind of like to share skincare things, and I want to incorporate more flight attendant stuff for you guys, but mainly on here because I do like talking more than like consistently posting. I am not a TikToker, or I can sit up here and be dancing and doing all that stuff. Like, no, we can just have a chit chat. That's what I can do. That's all I can do. I can't do all that other stuff. So, okay, let me give you guys some more terms. A leg is gonna be basically a trip. So if I have a leg, if I say leg, that means like DFW to Atlanta, DFW to LA. That's a leg. And then a turn is gonna be going from DFW to LAX and then return back LAX to DFW. That's gonna be a turn. And then a local is gonna be any time that I'm scheduled on reserve and they say, we have a local for you. So it would be like going from DFW to like Aspen and then come back, which means I'm going to end in my base. So I'm gonna go back home and go to sleep. I don't have to worry about staying at a hotel. Let's see, what else do I have for you guys? Oh, if you guys have any terms that you guys want to know, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Trying to think of any other terms that I have for you guys. A composite line is going to be a line where you're asking not to work on reserve. So just basically you're asking, like PBS, which is like the system that we use to make our schedule, you're basically asking them to give you whatever trips are left from all the line holders. So it's like, I don't want to be on reserve, so give me whatever's left, which that's what I just bid for because I'm ready to try something new. Definitely tired of being on reserve. I mean, I'm not like super tired of it, but it's like, let's do something different. So we're gonna talk about what my schedule looks like soon, probably the end of next week. Also, what are some other terms I can give you guys? Let me know. Hey, let me know if you guys have any terms that you guys are unfamiliar with. Also, since I can't think of any terms, let me tell you guys a story time. So really quickly, I had a 3-day bucket like last week, and then my last day was, how long do you see yourself in this profession? Only time will tell, honey. I don't know. I do not know, you know, whatever the universe has in store, honestly. But so far, I don't necessarily have any complaints. Like, it's a job. Well, it's a career path, honestly. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints. Okay, so the story time had a 3-day bucket, and I had a stand-up, right? Day 1 I wasn't called. Day 2 I had a stand-up, and I got released at like 7:30 in the morning, and I was done for the day, right? So I'm chilling, minding my business, and then crew support calls me at like 4:30 p.m. and I'm like, why are they calling me? Because I'm done. And really quickly, when I first became a flight attendant, what is her name? My IOE instructor, she was like, whenever crew support calls you outside of work, like let's say you're done with your shift, do not answer the phone. Okay, I'm gonna explain bucket in a second, but she was saying, do not answer the phone if you are not on reserve, because you may be liable to work because you answered the phone. So I didn't answer the phone, and then crew support left me a voicemail. Mind you, this happened like last week. So they left me a voicemail and they were like, hey, we wanted to know if you could work a stand-up for us tonight. We know that you're gonna be off, but if you can, we really need your help. You can give us a call back and hopefully we can work something out. So I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, I actually like working stand-ups because that means I'm done with my day. And whenever crew support calls you and you're off, okay, I'll answer your question in a second. Whenever crew support calls you and you're off, that means they really, really need help. So that's like the best time to try to negotiate, okay, I'll work for you guys, but can I get a day off, or can you like give me 300% for this trip? Like, you can really negotiate anything, and then they'll try to work it out because they need that trip to be covered. Honestly, it's like, it's either we pay you more, the company will make more money or not make more money, but they rather pay me more than to cancel the flight and give all of the people on the flight like a reimbursement. So that's like your time to bargain for the most, right? So I called them back and I was like, okay, like, what's tea? Let's negotiate. What can y'all do for me? I might be able to work this trip. So I was talking to crew support and they were just like, yeah, we have a trip, we have a stand-up, and we wanted to know if you can help us out. Okay, cool. And so, mind you, I was like, okay, where do we have to go? We had to go to, y'all, I actually forgot like what state it was, but for the sake of this video, let's say it was Louisiana. So they were like, oh, we'll be sending you to Louisiana. And I was like, okay. And then I said, where is the hotel? Where are we staying at? And she told me the hotel. Listen, I've never been to this hotel, but every flight attendant, I mean every single flight attendant of my entire career has said, if you stay at this hotel, it is the worst hotel in our like company to like sleep in. And I've never stayed there, but I've always written that down on my list, like, no. I mean, I've had people who know me that are other flight attendants, and they're like, if you stayed there, you probably quit your job. Like, you would get another hotel. You wouldn't even stay there. So I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do that trip because, no, the hotel is horrible. Like, I've heard bad stories, like bed bugs, all types of stuff. So I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna pick up that trip because I've heard bad things about that hotel. Yeah, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna have to pass on the offer because I definitely don't want to put myself in a position where I'm uncomfortable, even though we would be staying at the hotel for like maybe about 5-6 hours. It's just still it's not worth it to be uncomfortable. But for someone else, you might be willing to like stay there. But I've heard so many bad things about this hotel that I was like, it's not worth it. So definitely make sure you're asking crew support all details about the trip. And beyond that, so I know that a lot of people weren't picking up that trip because it was a horrible hotel, but other people may not pick up the trip because of who's working it, and I didn't even know who was working it. So it could have been people who are high on a do not bid list, which I didn't even get to that part. I was just like, you guys lost me at the hotel. So yeah, so that was a quick story time, but let me see your questions. What do you mean by bucket? Oh, bucket is like, bucket. How can I explain bucket? Bucket is like the amount of days that you work in a row. So the minimum amount of days in your bucket is 3 days. So days that you are on call, That's what you just call a bucket. So if I'm on call Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's gonna be a bucket. That's my bucket. I hope that makes sense. Okay. How do they get away with this professionally? Well, I don't even know how to answer that question because I've actually never seen anybody hook up. So most of the pilots that I've seen are married and no one is trying to get with each other, so I haven't experienced that. Oh, I had to Google IOE and many of the other terms. Oh, IOE is going to be initial operating experience, basically after you finish training, which is, I'm just explaining this for those of you who didn't know. But after, hey, welcome new people. Also, after you finish training, then you'll get your wings, then you go to IOE. And IOE is basically where you practice everything that you learn. So you'll have an instructor who is showing you how to do everything, and then you'll like follow everything that he or she is doing, just looking, and you'll do that for about 3 legs, and then the next day you actually do it. So it's not hard. I want to say it's easy. Like, looking back, it was easy, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking when I was going into it. But it's about your IOE instructor. I had a really nice IOE instructor. I have videos about that, so definitely go and look through my videos about IOE. I actually had 2 because my first IOE, when it was time for me to perform my part, it got canceled because of weather. So I had to redo it from the top with a whole new person. But the second person was also nice. But then there have been times when I've been at work and I've had to watch other people do an IOE, and their instructor was really mean. So I was just like, wow, I didn't have that experience. So I can't speak for everybody, but not to say that you're gonna have a rude one or a mean one, and when I say mean, I mean like not necessarily mean, but just very by the book and very strict, and that can be nerve-wracking. So it just all depends, but I had 2 and they were both nice. Okay, I'm gonna read some more of your questions. Do you ever spend the night at the airport? No. But I guess you could sleep in the crew lounge. I mean, if I had a very late flight when I did commute, if I had a late flight or early morning flight and I was spending only about 4 hours or 5 hours, maybe that would be considered spending the night in the airport, but not 8 hours. No, that's a long time. Would you consider going mainline and fly international? No. Only because flying is very taxing. And sometimes we have flights, even when I have flights that are 3 hours, 4 hours long, there's a lot of work to do. So I can't imagine having an 8-hour flight, 13-hour flight. That's a lot more work, a lot more people, a lot more personalities to deal with on a plane. So I think I am content with the amount of work that I'm already doing, and yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't really want to have deal with more personalities. Let's see. Oh, how long were your flights in it? It's been like a year, and it's supposed to be October. What is that? a year and 10 months. So we're almost going on 2 years. And it was scary how one of your cohorts had a difficult instructor. Yeah, it was very like nerve-wracking just to watch because she was very strict. I do have a video about that, which I can link down below, but I did talk about that in one of my videos. But yeah, I was like, oh my god, good luck, girl, because just her instructor just had me stressed, and it wasn't even my own IOE. Let's see. Okay, a few more questions. I'm gonna get off of here. Biggest surprise as a flight attendant? I don't know. I don't really have any surprises. I'm not, like, what do you mean by surprise? Favorite layover city? There's this place in, I think it's Michigan, called Traverse City. It's very pretty. And I like Durango, Colorado, and Bozeman, Montana. And there's a place, I think Casper, Wyoming. There's another place in Wyoming that I like too. But those have to be the main ones. I hope you guys can hear me. Yes. Your fate in the company can be in a single instructor's hand. Imagine having someone that is biased against age, race, whatsoever. Oh yeah. Well, the thing was, this instructor, it definitely didn't have anything to do with racism because we were all the same color. She was just by the book, which as she should be. It is important that we follow the rules and we follow the instructions, but I think that my instructors were a little more lenient, and the instructor that I observed, she was just very like, if you don't know this, it's a problem. So I guess it just all depends, but that is true. But I do think that they do a good job hiring people who aren't biased. I think so, but I could be wrong. Do you enjoy traveling to cold regions, or maybe you hate flights with athletes? Oh, gotcha. Surprise, that type of surprises. I like cold weather, so I don't mind going to the cold. Now, I don't like 12 feet of snow. I don't want nothing like that, but I don't mind if it's cold. I know there is background noise. I'm about to get off of here soon. We got like a few minutes. Okay. Or maybe, sorry, let me finish this question. You hate flights with athletes? During March, we had a lot of basketball players who were like competing in the March Madness. So there were a lot of those basketball players, but they weren't rude. They were really respectful. I didn't have any like bad scenarios. And then I've had like people who played in the Olympics fly in first class, going to places, and they're pretty nice. So I don't really have any nothing negative. The only thing is that whenever I fly to the southern states, it's only 4: Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Louisiana, did I say that? Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Those 4 states, out of all 50, those 4 states, I don't know what it is when those passengers get on, they just, it's crazy. Every time, every single time. Never had this problem with Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, only those 4 states. So yeah, I already know it's gonna be a mess when I have those 4 states. Any side hustles? I need to do some hot side hustles. You guys should definitely give me some ideas. I mean, I like talking to you guys on here, but oh, be sure to check me out on Patreon. I have some story times that I would love sharing with you guys, and I'll have another story time up tonight. That's gonna be the one about what happened with the flight attendant that was popular on the do not bid list. So definitely check that out. I will post that tonight. Also, let me know where you guys at, because the sun is going down here. It's like 6:51. I'm in Seattle, but let me know where you guys are at. It's probably nighttime if you guys are on the East Coast. Yeah, let's see. Do I have anything else? Oh, but they definitely label you. Yeah. I guess they could label you. That's true. I mean, people are going to judge you regardless, so you can't really get out of that. What kind of problems? The type of problems, it's not necessarily problems, it's just like, it's a lot of people where it's their first time flying whenever I have flights in those 4 states. So they just have more questions than a typical flight. Like, they don't know where their seat is, they don't know where the restroom is. Some people, you know, down to the seat belt, they don't know what we serve, they don't know if it's free or not. So it's just kind of like a lot of like basic questions. I don't want to say stupid questions, because it's not stupid questions, they just don't know. But I always have at least 2 or 3 whenever I have those 4 states, whenever I'm flying those 4. But okay guys, I'm gonna head off of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this live. Be sure to talk to me in the comments. Check me out on Patreon. And also, I do have consultations if you have any questions, or if you just want to have a one-on-one and just ask me more questions about different things. So you can just email me on pristinepores@gmail.com. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.